After 4 years and 3 different designs, Soyuz has finally arrived, and she brought company. Let's first start with the queen herself, Sovietsky Soyuz. Her base stats are very similar to Mommy, I mean FDG's, with over 10,000 HP and 458 firepower. She also has great main gun efficiency at 150% and a lot of damage buffs. Her second skill gives Northern Parliament ships more damage. If you're using her with 2 carriers, the carriers get more damage. If you use her with other battleships, Soyuz herself gets, that's right, more damage. Her third skill surprisingly provides defense buffs instead, but we don't care about those. It's mostly for the cross-fleet barrage, which is identical to the one she uses in her own fleet. Now let's talk about this barrage of hers. It drops a targeted icicle on the enemy that blooms into 6 more weaker icicles around it. The 6 bloomed icicles can hit the same enemy multiple times, and enemies from the icicles get slowed, take more damage, and give Soyuz extra crit rate. My initial impression is that she very easily fits in as the 3rd ship in the meta battleship fleet. She's not replacing Bismarck, she's not replacing Vanguard, but the 3rd ship you used alongside them was interchangeable, and I think Soyuz is now possibly one of the strongest options available, having great personal damage while also bringing a buff to further increase that fleet's damage. That's not her only role though, as she still works great alongside carriers, and of course she can serve as the flagship for a Russian fleet. Overall, she's pretty cool. Well, that's enough about Soyuz. Let's talk about her friends. Annavoy is a little bundle of cuteness that functions effectively as a moving and shooting toolkit. Her first skill is just toolkit passive for your Vanguard, but better. She also gets 2 spammable barrages and potentially 75% extra firepower if all her skill RNG works out in her favor. If you fail all the RNG activations though, I still think she is a decent ship, just like Toolkit is always a decent auxiliary, but there are better options. Next we have Pymat Meta, who is Pymat but better. Higher base stats across the board, higher efficiencies, and the same but better skills. Pymat gets 15% chance to evade all damage. Edgy Pymat gets that plus 20% firepower and torpedo during the evasion. Pymat gets a 70% chance to fire a barrage that slows. Dark Pymat fires a guaranteed barrage that does more damage while still having a separate skill that slows. Pymat meta is just better, like how dark mode is better than light mode. The only thing normal Pymat has over Pymat meta is her faction. If you have Northern Parliament faction buffs from say like Soyuz, Emomat cannot benefit from those buffs, while Vanilla can. Finally, the 2 elites. I say this almost every time, but they are not great, so I'm not really gonna talk about them. Poltava's stats are terrible. Her only good trait is leveling to 120 for fleet tech, so you get +1 firepower for all your battleships. I still bought her skin though. Svirepi is an elite destroyer, and enough said. And that's all 5 ships in the new event. It's basically just Soyuz and friends. The SRs are not bad. The elites are bad. Soyuz though is absolutely amazing. Do you guys think she met the hype? Was she worth the wait? I think so. But let me know what you think in the comments. Also like and subscribe please. Bye.